My friends, this is Dr. B, the best doctor in medicine. Today, Dr. B, with 30 plus years of experience in clinical medicine, I want to explain to you, to teach you in simple ways, why is it that we need antioxidants? Remember that my channel is for regular people. I didn't open this channel to teach doctors and nurses and medical students. This is for regular people like you who don't have knowledge about science, health sciences, medicine, biology, biochemistry, cellular biology, molecular biology, all these diseases like Dr. B, so that I can explain to you in easy to understand manner so that you can improve your health. And God willing, me and you, we can age gracefully. Today I'm explaining to you why is it that we need antioxidants. Have you noticed that everywhere they tell you to eat fruits? Fruits are full of vitamins, minerals, blah, 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 and antioxidants, right? They tell you eat vegetables because vegetables are rich in fibers, vitamins, minerals, blah, 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 and antioxidants, right? They tell you wine is full of antioxidant. This is full of antioxidant, blah, blah, blah. So they are pushing you and me, obviously, to eat more antioxidants in our diet, in addition to, of course, vitamins, minerals, proteins, healthy fats, and blah, blah, blah. So in our diet, somebody who has a healthy diet and wants to age gracefully needs obviously to have enough proteins, healthy fat, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, right? In addition, of course, to cutting back alcohol, junk food, all these fats, saturated fat, and all these carcinogens and everything, right? So these antioxidants, what are they and how do they work? As the name indicates, antioxidant is a chemical compound, a molecule, a chemical compound that is against oxidation. So we call that an antioxidant. An oxidant in science, in chemistry, is also called an oxidizer or an oxidizing agent, right? So when you eat an antioxidant, you eat a chemical compound that fights against another chemical compound, which is an oxidant, also called oxidizer, also called oxidizing compound. Now, all of you have an idea about what oxidation is. To make it simple, if you put iron, steel, in water and you add salt, you will see that eventually, quickly after a few months, a few weeks even, the iron starts to rust. So the oxidation of iron and steel is the most common example of what we call oxidation. So when you want to teach young students in chemistry what is oxidation, you show them a beautiful piece made of steel, and then you show them a piece of iron that you took out from water with salt after you dipped it for a few weeks or months, so that people can understand this rust that accumulates on the iron is actually the iron that has been oxidized. So we're going to say there has been an oxidation of iron. Now, oxidation doesn't happen only to iron. It can happen to proteins. It can happen to our DNA. It can happen to the cell membranes that surround the 37 billion cells that we have in our body. So this oxidation is not specific for iron accumulating rust and being destroyed by rust. The same way iron gets destroyed because it gets oxidized, our cell components, whether they are proteins, DNA, fatty acids, whether they are cell membranes, every component of our 37 trillion cells. Remember, an average adult body has 37 trillion, not billion, not million, trillion cells. So each of the components of our 37 tiny microscopic trillion cells that make our body can get oxidized and damaged, right? And that's actually this oxidation of our DNA, our genes, is one of the many theories of aging. Why is it that we age? Well, there are different reasons. There's like 4 or 5 reasons. I will come back to that in another video. But one of the major reasons why we age is the oxidation and therefore damage to our DNA. The DNA is our genetic material that makes our genes that I received from my mom and that you received from your dad, right? Mommy gave me half of my genes, daddy gave me half of my genes. So if these genes, which are made of DNA, if this DNA gets oxidized over time and this oxidation damage accumulates, it causes mutations and of course eventually damage and aging. That's just one of the reasons why we age. There's other reasons. I will make a video to explain to you guys in an easy way why is it that we age. Why is it that after we have reached the adult mature stage, why is it that we go down the drain? Why is it we don't stay the same? Why is it we get old? Why is that? So as our cells, 37 trillion cells in our body for an average adult, get oxidized, the cells get damaged, right? Very easy to understand. So now the question would be, okay, so we need to have in our diet a lot of antioxidants. You have heard, of course, of vitamin C, right? They tell you, get vitamin C. Okay, vitamin C, among other properties, when it goes in our body, it acts like a very powerful antioxidant. So it prevents this oxidation of our cells, of our DNA, of our lipids, of our proteins that make up who I am, right? Vitamin C. Another one is, of course, resveratrol. You have heard of resveratrol. Oh, resveratrol is in wine, so that's why we need to drink wine. That's why the wine lobby is telling you. The wine lobby is pushing you so that you drink their poison called wine because it has a lot of resveratrol. But they will never tell you that resveratrol doesn't exist just in wine. It exists also in red grapes. It exists also in peanut butter, and many other fruits are extremely rich in resveratrol. So you don't need to drink any poison containing alcohol, especially wine, so that you get your antioxidant. No, stay away from wine. I posted a video about this nasty beverage called wine, because wine comes with a poison called alcohol, and you don't want to put that in your body. The other antioxidant that of course you might have heard is they tell you dark chocolate is full of antioxidants, right? That is true. Cocoa powder, right? From which we make this dark chocolate that people love. Cocoa powder is full of an antioxidant called proanthocyanidin. Proanthocyanidin, right? I, Dr. B, eat at least 6 tablespoons that I mix all the time with my protein powder every day, all right? 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening with my protein, and I swallow a huge amount of cocoa powder. Obviously, no sugar, and it has to be not processed with alkali. Remember, when you buy cocoa powder, it needs to not have sugar, because then you make something healthy, you make it unhealthy. And in addition to that, make sure that your cocoa powder has not been processed with alkali, because processing with alkali destroys the quality of all these beautiful nutrients that you have in chocolate, especially the proanthocyanidins, which is one of the most powerful antioxidants in the universe, right? And I eat a lot of that. So peanut butter is rich in that, a lot of fruits, cocoa powder, vegetables, blah, blah, blah. So they tell you to eat a lot of these antioxidants so that you can help the 37 trillion cells of your body fight oxidation. There is a conservative number. Scientists estimate that every hour, each of our tiny microscopic 37 trillion cells that make up our body, every hour they produce, because of their metabolism, an estimated 1 billion oxidizing agents. It's crazy. So think about that. Our body is made of an estimated 37 trillion cells that make our organs, that make us who we are, right? In each and every one of these tiny microscopic 37 trillion cells, every hour the normal metabolism of our cells produce an estimated 1 billion oxidizing agents. It's crazy, right? Now the question, that's why you need to eat antioxidants, right? To protect your cells against these 1 billion oxidizing agents that are produced every hour in each of our 37 trillion cells because of the metabolism, the normal metabolisms of the cells, right? Now at this point your question might be, where do these oxidizing agents, these oxidizers, these oxidants come from in our cells, so that we need to eat so much antioxidants in order to fight them from destroying and to prevent these oxidants from oxidizing our cells? Where do these freaking oxidants come from, right? Very good questions. The 99% of these oxidants, oxidizers that destroy our DNA, our cell membranes, our proteins, our cells, everything in our body, right? 99% of them come from this oxygen that we breathe. I'm breathing oxygen. Oxygen goes into my lungs. From my lungs, it gets taken up by these red blood cells, the hemoglobin in our blood, our tiny red blood cells, takes the oxygen, and this oxygen by our blood, the blood supplies oxygen to my brain, my liver, my kidneys, my heart, my skin, everything, right? So that my cells can produce energy. I breathe, oxygen goes into my cells, and my cells are able to produce energy in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So the reason why we need to breathe oxygen in the air that we breathe is because the oxygen, when it goes into the 37 trillion tiny cells that make up our organs and our body, oxygen allows our cells to produce energy from the food that we ate, and that energy that the cells produce from the food that we ate is called ATP. Without oxygen, the cells that make up our body would not be able to produce this energy for my muscles, for my brain, for my kidneys, for my liver, this energy that I need, right? The cells would not be able to produce this energy in the form of ATP if I didn't breathe oxygen in the air that I breathe, right? So this is why we need oxygen. Without oxygen, the cells cannot produce ATP. And therefore, because we cannot produce energy, our cells die. Our heart die, we develop a heart attack. The brain cells die, we develop a stroke, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So you understand now why we breathe oxygen. Unfortunately, this oxygen that we need this oxygen to make energy from the food that we ate. The food that we eat in our cells gets transformed, burned, and gets transformed into energy, ATP, among other things, right? I don't want to go into the details. And this conversion of the energy from food to energy in our cells in the form of ATP to power my muscles, my brain, my heart to contract, this conversion needs oxygen. Now the problem is that oxygen is also a very powerful and the number one producer of reactive oxygen species, ROS. These are very, very, very powerful oxidizers, also called oxidants. So to your question, where do these freaking oxidants come from so that we need and that can kill my cell, destroy my DNA and my cells and my proteins and make me go old? Where these freaking oxidants come from so that I need to fight them by eating antioxidants? You got the answer. They come from the oxygen that we breathe. So oxygen is a curse. Oxygen, we need it to survive, to produce energy, because without oxygen we die, right? Because the cells can no longer produce energy. Our cells need energy for the heart to pump, for my muscles to walk, for my brain to function, for my mouth to talk to you. All this requires energy at the cellular level. But without oxygen, therefore, we die because we can't produce oxygen. But at the same time, when oxygen goes inside every one of these tiny microscopic 37 trillion cells to help produce energy, at the same time, oxygen produces free radicals that we call very powerful reactive oxygen species, ROS, also called free radicals, which are extremely powerful oxidants and destroy the cells. That's why you need to eat all these antioxidants every day on a regular basis in your diet to help your cells fight against these oxygen-generated reactive oxygen species, also called free radicals. Oxygen is a curse. I just said it a few minutes ago. Oxygen, we need it in order to survive and produce energy, but at the same time that oxygen helps us, allows us, not helps us, allows us to produce energy from the food that we ate, oxygen at the same time creates reactive oxygen species, also called free radicals, that are very, very, very powerful oxidizer and destroy our cells, so that we need to eat all these antioxidants to prevent that from happening. Now, in addition to the antioxidants that you need, evolution has given us a natural antioxidant that is already produced by our cells that we call glutathione. Glutathione, 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 Tione, glutathione is one of the most powerful antioxidants in our body. It is produced naturally. Evolution gave us these natural antioxidants in our body to help fight oxidation that is caused by the oxygen creating all these reactive oxygen species. So that if one day, even 1 week, 1 month, I don't eat any antioxidant in my diet, I will be okay, because my body, my cells, the 37 trillion tiny little cells that make our body, can naturally produce a huge amount of molecules of glutathione, so that I can fight the oxidation of these reactive oxygen species. So it's very important to understand that. Let me repeat the spelling in case you didn't get it. Glutathione, if you want to Google it, Glutathione, 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 Thione. If you Google it, you're going to see they sell supplements of glutathione. You absolutely don't need that, because your cells produce enough glutathione to fight these reactive oxygen species and to prevent this oxidation of your cells to a certain extent. That's why you need to get extra from the food. But don't go buy glutathione. Just have a healthy diet of fruits and vegetables and cocoa powder, peanut butter, blah, and you will get all the antioxidants that you get from the fruits and vegetables. And remember that a lot of antioxidants do not work in humans. So stick with the antioxidants that have been proven scientifically to work in humans, like the resveratrol that is in red grape or red grape juice, or in peanut butter, right? And also the proanthocyanidin that has been proven to work in humans, that is in cocoa powder, or the vitamin C that you find in fruits. These are very, very powerful antioxidants. You don't need to stuff your mouth with billions of molecules of different types of antioxidants, because most of them do not work in humans. An antioxidant that works in a plant doesn't necessarily works in a human. So you need to have the proof. Like, for instance, I posted a video about curcumin, right? Curcumin is a very, very powerful antioxidant that is produced by a plant called turmeric. But every study that has been done has proven that when you put curcumin in your food, it tastes good, it gives it a beautiful taste, it makes it look good color, but when you eat it, it just comes out in your poop and you poop it in the toilet. It is absolutely not absorbed by your intestine and doesn't go in your blood. So remember, some antioxidants don't get absorbed by your body. And even a lot of them, even if they get absorbed, they do not penetrate into your cells. So like the one from red moss, right? Red moss. The red sea moss, also called sea moss or Irish moss or wild moss, right? My ex-girlfriend used to buy these expensive powders of sea moss powder full of antioxidant. And nobody is able to prove to you that the antioxidant that is produced and that works in that sea moss, that protects the sea moss cells against oxidation, works in humans. So she was paying $90 for these tiny little powders like this, buying one every month, $90 every month, wasting $1,000 per year on buying these powders of sea moss powder that is full of antioxidants. And there is and I showed her, I made a review of the medical scientific literature. There is absolutely not even one scientific study that has been peer-reviewed that can be, and that has been statistically validated, that can prove that sea moss in humans can have any antioxidant benefit. But these people, they lie, right? They tell you buy this stuff and your thyroid function will be better, your memory will be enhanced, your penis will be bigger, your heart will be younger if you buy that sea moss powder. It's full of antioxidants and you're going to sleep like a baby every night and your muscles are going to grow. I mean, it's unbelievable. What are these, all the fake claims that they make, all these supplement industry and these supplement vendors about these antioxidant properties of this and that and this and that. Just think about nature. There are 400,000 plants in nature, 400,000 species of plant, not plant, 400,000 species of plants, right? 400,000 estimated, right? And each of these species of plants produce dozens of different antioxidants to protect the plant cells against oxidations. Now, is there any proof that this antioxidant that the plant produces for itself to help it protect against oxidation is going to work on me? Of course not, because we are humans, we are not plants. So what works in a plant is not necessarily going to work in humans. What works for a mouse is not necessarily going to work for a human. What works for a sheep is not necessarily going to work for human. What works in a snake is not necessarily going to work in a human. So we are a different species. We have different cells. We have different genes. We have different DNA. So one antioxidant working in a plant because it was produced by that plant to protect that plant against oxidation is not necessarily going to work in humans. And I gave you the example of the sea moss that my ex-girlfriend used to buy. I gave you the example of curcumin that people put in their food to give it a good taste, a good color, a good smell. And people sell, if you go online, people sell bottles like this of supplement curcumin, and they come up with these fake properties that it's gonna make your hair loss stop, it's gonna burn your fat, right? The biggest scam everywhere on the internet is burning your fat if you buy that little whatever it is that they put in that bottle, right? They come up with these weird chemical compounds and they put it in a little bottle and they claim that it's gonna make your hair grow and your heart become young. Your belly fat is gonna be lost. The biggest scam, the biggest scam that I see a lot, the number one scam is belly fat loss. Lose your belly. If you buy that stuff, make sure you click on that link below and keep your credit card ready. The number two scam that I see online everywhere, not just YouTube, every freaking internet website, yeah, and they are very good at that, is hair loss. So if you buy that supplement that I sell you that has this weird name, blah blah blah, you're gonna your bald head is gonna now be like Dr. B, full of hair, and you're gonna stop your hair loss. I mean it's crazy. Number one scam again is belly fat loss. Number two is hair loss. But now they come up also, number three, maybe these antioxidants that are supposed to make your skin so beautiful and your thyroid function better. Your prostate is going to shrink. Oh, I forgot the prostate. I see a lot of these quacks and these scammers selling these products. It's just crazy without any proof that your prostate is going to shrink. Your penis is going to get bigger. If you're a male, you're going to ejaculate. Instead of ejaculating a little bit like this, you're going to ejaculate like a horse. Have you seen horses, right? When they ejaculate, it's like a huge amount of semen, right? Ooh, if you buy that supplement, oh my God, next time you're going to ejaculate for your wife after sex. Ooh, my God, it's going to be like a horse. I mean, anyways, I don't even know why people care about this kind of stuff. But please, Dr. B is here. Dr. B is a real doctor. I took the Hippocratic oath to never lie to you, to put your interest above mine. I will never put my interest above yours. And everything that I tell you is the scientific evidence. I have proof. I never give you my opinion about anything. I give you what the reality is, what the truth is, what the scientific evidence is. I never, ever, ever, you will never, ever, ever see me selling you this product. Click with your credit card ready below and that stuff will make you stop your aging, blah, blah. I will never sell you any garbage, right? I will never tell you lies. Everything I tell you is never, never, ever my opinion. Is the truth, is the scientific truth, is the scientific evidence backed up by scientific studies that have been validated by the scientific medical community. So remember to have enough antioxidants in your diet to help your cells, which already produce the natural glutathione, but by bringing more antioxidant in addition to the natural glutathione that your cells produce to fight these oxidants that come from the oxygen that we breathe. If you get enough in your diet, and the ones that have been proven, then you will age gracefully, you will slow down the pace of aging, right? And we will age together gracefully. But remember, no matter what you do, you will never stop aging, right? Only God can stop aging. So all these people who tell you about get this medication, get this product, buy this, buy that, it will reverse your aging and blah, blah, blah. They are just scammers. Stay away from them. Spare your money for your retirement and watch my videos, listen to my advice, listen to my recommendation, and I swear to God, we will age together gracefully. And remember, stay away from the supplements that are glutathione. Glutathione is sold in supplements, right? And it's a scam. Your cells produce enough glutathione. You don't need to eat more glutathione. Your cells produce naturally glutathione to fight these reactive oxygen species that come from the oxygen that we breathe. But help your cells so that you can help yourselves by eating more different kinds of antioxidants that have been proven, validated scientifically, so that you have not only your natural glutathione plus as an antioxidant, plus the antioxidants that have been proven that are beneficial to you that you get from your diet. Okay, and God willing, we will be still together in 50 years. We will age, but we will age gracefully. We will stay away from cardiovascular disease, heart attack, stroke, cancer, heart failure, liver failure, kidney failure, irritable bowel disease, cancer, strokes, blah, 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 neurodegenerative diseases, osteoarthritis, arthritis, dementia, blah, blah. I swear to God, it's easy to do. You don't need to buy anything. Everything you need is in nature. Every vitamin, mineral, antioxidant, protein, everything is in a healthy, moderate diet. A diet like this, but it has to be healthy, and it has to be moderate. Remember, the healthiest diet, if you eat too much of it, then you become fat. So you have to eat the healthiest diet, but a little bit, just like Dr. B. Means you need to zip your mouth, right? And I posted a lot of videos about this, and God willing, in 50 years, we will still be together. Remember, I will never retire from medicine. I work 8 to 10 hours a day, including Saturdays, at our cardiovascular clinic, and I love it. I will never give up working until I'm 100 years old, and I can pass away peacefully in my sleep at the age of 100. But until then, I'm 50 years young now. For the next 50 years, I promise you, I will still be with you. I will still be helping you to age gracefully, and I will explain to you everything in a simple, easy manner so that you do not get scammed and fooled by all these quacks that we see online. Remember, it's very easy to stay away from disease and to age gracefully. Extremely easy, and it costs $0. Just watch my videos and you will understand. I love you. Put your comments, questions, anything you have down there. I will get back to you regardless of your gender, religion, race, ethnicity, color of your skin, politics. I don't give a cat. So I love you regardless of whoever you are. I really do love you the same way I love medicine. I went into medicine more than 30 years ago for the love of people, for the love of medicine. God bless you, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.